Okay, good morning, everyone. All right. Why did the football team go to the bakery? They wanted to get their turnovers. Okay. Why did the football coach go to the bank? He wanted to get his quarterback. Why did the referee go to art school? To learn how to draw penalties. And now we are done with Super Bowl Sunday. You are welcome. Time to move on to Valentine's Day. Okay, when you guys were listening to that song, could you embrace it and feel it and know it and just allow it to bubble up within you? Right? It was lovely. Thank you for that. Because to me, Valentine's Day is not just about celebrating romance and those people who we hold dear to ourselves. It's about celebrating one of our most enduring, the most important, the most life-shaping relationship we have. And that is a relationship with ourselves. Think about it. Because today, we are not going to exclude anyone. We're going to include everyone. Because today, we're going to celebrate you and you and you and you, and we're just going to celebrate it. And we're not going to do it just today. We're going to do it over the next 2 Sundays because that's how important you are. Seriously. Your own uniqueness is what makes the world happen. He's got it. I didn't even have to point. I love it. So here's one of the core principles of this teaching. Each of us is a unique expression of the one. Whatever you call the one. Unique. Unique to that creative power. Not a copy, not a replacement. You are not a backup plan. You are not a mistake. You're not any of those things. Ernest Holmes says, everything in the universe is a unique, individualized expression of the one thing. No 2 blades of grass are the same. No 2 snowflakes, no 2 fingerprints, although I hear as the older you get, the less obvious your fingerprints are. But I hope to find that out someday. And no 2 lives are the same. No 2 expressions. Isn't that great? We exist. You exist. You exist. Because the creative one wanted to experience its creation, its expression, its world through you and your eyes and your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. Think about that. Through your divine expression of perfection, because all of us are perfect in our own unique way. Holmes says, the more life you express, the more of God flows through you. We often in this teaching have this expression that says, without God, I wouldn't be. And that is so true. But here's the other half of that story. Here's the rest of that line. And without you, without your specific view and your voice, your perspective, your love, your joy, your peace, without that, God would not be fully expressed in this world. Think about that. We are so divinely powerful. If we just can breathe in and remember that. So, here's some good news. We are not here to imitate holiness. Isn't that great? Here's the difficult news. We are here to embody it. Because that is how we came into this world. Fully embodied in the holiness and the oneness and the truth and the imagination and the expression and the joy and the I don't have any reason not to be happy all the time. So yes, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate you this week. Reverend Joanne's going to celebrate you next week. And then we're going to follow it up with a celebration, Love Fest potluck. So I'm hoping you guys suit up and show up. All right, so there are some reasons, in my opinion, there are some reasons that we should celebrate ourselves on a regular basis, like part of our spiritual practice, okay? First one, when we celebrate ourselves, what we're really doing is we're aligning ourselves with the truth. I have to move this out, sorry. We're aligning ourselves with the truth. The truth that we are who we are. When we celebrate ourselves, not only are we aligning our spiritual truth, but we're putting less of a voice to that inner stuff, right? I'm not enough. I'll celebrate when I improve. Once I fix myself, I'll go out there and do what's mine to do. Yeah, none of that works. Because all we have is right here, right now, who we are, whatever our weight, our employment, our budget, our issues, our problems, our stuff. This is what we have right here, and this is what we have right now. And this is what we are to bring to the world. Holmes. The real self is God-given and cannot be denied. See, when we celebrate ourselves, it's not about our ego. It's not about, ooh, look at me. No. It's about honoring that life chose to express itself as you today. Put your hand on your heart. God chose to express itself as me today. Say it. God chose to express itself as me today. I mean, come on. What a gift. What an honor. See, it's not about your personality, but it's acknowledging that presence in form. And when we acknowledge that, whew, it gets sweet. I can tell you that most days I wake up, I look in the mirror, and, okay, Fancy, what do you say?
I'm on top of the world.
That's what he says, I'm on top of the world. I don't. I say, good morning, sweetheart. You know? I mean, my husband will tell you, I have a nice long conversation with myself every morning before I even go downstairs. It's wonderful. And I believe when we start our day there, when we empower ourselves knowing that we are on top of the world every moment, when we just, when we can do that, oh, what a sweet way to start the day. And we take it with us because we've declared our truth. I am that I am, and I love it. I celebrate it, and I become willing to share it. Thomas Trord, we must learn to believe in ourselves because we believe in the divine which lives within us. Try that one. We believe in the one creative power. And we believe that that one creative power created everything. It created all of us, exactly who we are and how we are not, and who we are not. Truth. Absolute, positive truth. Okay, second reason to celebrate. It frees us to move forward. I mean, when you're celebrating, you're moving. You're grooving. You sort of think you have a handle on things. And once you think you have a handle on things, you get to start having a handle on things. Ernest Holmes. The power is expressing in you in a unique way and is always pressing against you, seeking a further outlet. A further outlet. There is so much more of life that wants to flow through us, expressing as us. I'm reminded of Alicia. She's fully participating in all of these wonderful gatherings in Minnesota, right? And when she shows up, She's got community. She's meeting fun people. And that's because she's showing up in her expression of this divine, loving expression. Right? What we're seeing, what we're seeking, what we're willing to put ourselves out there as, we get more of. So, what stops the life from flowing? I can tell you my list. Let's see here. It's criticism, right? Negative self-talk, constraining myself, restricting myself. That's what stops my flow. But when we celebrate, we're opening up ourselves to that greater expression of it. I think about Oprah. You know, she's kind of put her life out there for the whole world, right? And she has told people that she was rejected from jobs. She was told, you know, you don't fit. You're too fat for TV. Whatever. Early in her career, she didn't fit any of the molds of what she wanted because she was empathetic. She was emotional. She was genuine, right? She was love. But she was also deeply curious about people. And that's what she leaned into. She once said, you get in life what you have the courage to ask for. I'd like to add to that also what you have the courage to seek out, what you have the courage to look for. When she stopped apologizing for her uniqueness, she writes, when she stopped apologizing for it, but embracing it, that's when the doors opened for her. Louise Hay, remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself, and see what happens then. Let's try that. Another reason to celebrate. Celebration heals that habit of self-rejection. See, I think most of us are trained socially, right? Spiritually. We're trained to focus on what needs to be fixed, right? Some of us, that's how we make our money, focusing on what needs to be fixed and then going out and getting it done. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Don't answer it out loud. But tell me right now one thing you messed up yesterday. Got it? Tell me one thing you succeeded at yesterday. Take a bit longer? For most of us, it takes a bit longer, right? In fact, some of us may not even have one. Oh, but there's so many of them. See, that's conditioning. Remembering what we messed up and not what we did well. That is conditioning. And we're all conditioned. Well, up until now. Holmes, here's his spiritual re-education on that idea. He says, I shall daily speak the truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous. It, our inner soul. See, when we celebrate, I believe we're retraining our consciousness. And I'm not talking about celebrating with cake and balloons and all of that every day. I'm talking about celebrating uniquely our own throughout the day. Just that little smile on the mirror saying, you got this. You've always had this. You see, because as of today, what happens if we make no mistakes? What if we don't measure? What if we don't compare? What if we don't keep score, right? What if instead we celebrate not only ourselves, but those people that we are judging and competing with and comparing ourselves to? What if we celebrate them as much as we celebrate ourselves? Unique idea. Michael Beckwith, founder of the Agape Center. I had the opportunity of attending one of his meditations, and it was delightful. And we're going to do that one of these Sundays. And what he basically said is, you get to this, in your mind's eye, think of one person that you totally and completely admire, right? That you really admire. And then that person is getting an award and they've invited you to come up on stage with them. And you get to feel all of that energy and all of that love and all of that appreciation just because you're standing next to this person. It's a powerful meditation. In fact, we're going to record it and put it on the website. It's powerful. And you know why it's powerful? It's powerful because that energy, that admiration is within us. Because if it wasn't within us, we wouldn't see it in the other person. Right? It's got to be within us. Because it's what's getting us excited about them. And when we get excited about them, we're taking our energy level and what are we doing? Raising that one up. And we could all use some good energy right about now, right? So when we celebrate, we stop postponing our worth to somewhere else. And we start to say, right here and right now, I am worthy. Because see, worthiness, it was never a future event. Worthiness is the starting place. Because once we recognize our worth, once we recognize that we don't have to earn our value, then we can start expressing it, sharing it, giving it away. And when we give anything away, what happens? Comes back, pressed down, multiplied, running over. Whether it's money or love or joy or peace or just being present. Ernest Holmes tells us, you are a center of divine operation. A center of divine operation. Which means when you show up as yourself, honestly, authentically, without any excuses, when you show up being courageous enough to allow your imperfection to show up, something shifts. I can tell you this truthfully from experience. When we do that, something shifts in the world. We don't have to change. The world somehow changes around us. And it becomes lighter, and it becomes brighter, and it becomes more compassionate. Because we've had the courage to stand there and say, this is holy ground because I'm here. And so get ready. Just get ready. See, what happens when we are willing to stand in our stuff and still be fully present, the world rearranges. And that voice, that little voice in the head that I'm sure I'm not the only one that has, like you're not enough, who do you think you are? That little voice, it gets to take a back seat. Because there's too much other loud good happening. What if, instead of I am not enough, or I'm not worthy, what if it's I'm an unfinished project? Try that one on. You want to fix something? I'm an unfinished project. I'm just unfolding. So stand back. I don't need you to fix it. It is unfolding. And finally, another reason to celebrate is that when we celebrate ourselves, we have more to give. Because we have more mental and emotional space because we're not like busy fixing things, right? When we genuinely celebrate who we are and whose we are, we become less self-absorbed because we're not necessarily concerned about what other people think, what they're saying, what they're doing. All of a sudden, life is not about them. It's about me. My spiritual, divine expression of it. That's what life gets to become part of. It gets to be part of being available to not only own my good, but to share my good, to share it. See, what happens when I stop worrying about everybody else and I just focus on my wonder, then my heart softens. Not just for me, but for everybody. Right? My joy comes out, not just for me, but for everybody. And my generosity expands because I'm no longer worried about, is there enough? Where's it going to come from? How's it going to show up? I'm just like, okay, I know this truth. There's only one. I'm a divine expression of it. And it gets to rearrange the world for my greater expression of what I know is true for me. And so now I have more to give. I become more worthy. So I no longer need to compete. I know I'm enough, so I don't need to withhold. I treat myself with kindness, so I naturally treat everybody else with kindness. And I'm no longer judging me, which means I don't have to judge you. Isn't that great? You know, I read an article in The Atlantic last week, and there's this word coming out called neighborism. You guys heard neighborism? It's a new term. It's not political at all, but it's emerging, and it's about the way communities respond to crisis from a place of solidarity, of caring, mutual aid, how we come to the world caring about each other and protecting each other, no matter of our race, any of that. You're my neighbor. I want to protect you. And Minnesota, especially Minneapolis, is kind of making a name for itself in neighborism. And I love that idea. I love that idea. What if we did that? What if we loved ourselves enough that we could love our neighbors enough so that they could love their neighbors enough so that all of a sudden we're standing in solidarity of, I don't know, love, peace, joy, general caring of each other, moving out of judgment, out of criticism, out of me, them kind of thing. If we get so busy celebrating ourselves and giving ourselves from the heart, think of the impact we could have on our immediate world. Ernest Holmes reminds us it is the fact that the more love and good we can find within ourselves, the more able we can express it to others. But we have to find it here first, within our own soul. It always starts within. And then it gets to go out and do good work. It doesn't go out and do good work and then come back and find a place within us. When we do it that way, that's just backhanded. That's like, I'm going to give because I expect something in return. No, it's not how it works spiritually. I feed my soul. I get clear on who and whose I am. And then from that place, I give. And then I get to be even more celebratory because it comes back in such fun, unique ways. When we celebrate ourselves, we can listen better. We can judge less. And we can respond instead of react. Dennis Mira Jones calls that hitting the pause button. You know, hit the pause button before you blurt out something. I called my dentist office on Thursday. I so should have hit the pause button. Now I need to call them on Monday and apologize because they were closed on Friday. But you gotta hit the pause button. And sometimes it's hard. Oh, so hard. But the more we do it, the easier it becomes. Self-celebration could be a spiritual act of service if we think about it. Because every time we choose compassion for ourselves, it allows us more compassion to express. Every time we honor our worth, we're saying to our family and our friends and our neighbors, you're worthy too. When I take the courage to be me, I'm now giving you the ability to be you. When I celebrate love of myself, then I've got more love to give. So it's Valentine's Day, right? I have a little homework assignment, because I do that on Sundays. I give everybody homework assignments. This one I'm being serious about. And you don't get away with that one either.
I want one. Okay.
Okay, so here's the idea. Here's the idea, you guys. It's Valentine's Day. I invite all of us to take a minute. Actually, that's not true. I want you to take some time and fill this out. Because this is kind of important, I think. One thing, think about it. Close your eyes right now. Here we go. One thing I appreciate about myself is one way I showed courage, kindness, and presence recently was one unique quality that I bring to this world is. Got the answers? That right there is your truth. We're going to celebrate that. Because the more we celebrate our uniqueness, the more we can honor the uniqueness of those around us. The more fully we allow life to flow through us, the more we have to give to life. And I'm sorry, but as in that reading today, right now, there needs to be more love, and there needs to be more flow of goodness. And that, the uniqueness of who you are, it's not only worth celebrating, it's the very reason you are here. Think about that. The reason you are here is to be completely and totally you. So let's get busy, getting busy doing that. So it is.
Hey.